In yesterday's video, I was a bit concerned that if I was to use a lighter or something like that to burn out the CA glue that was in the applicator needle, would there be a lot of residue? Well, there wasn't. The needle on the left, well, that's the one filled up with hardened CA glue. The middle one, well, that's what it looks like if it's soaked out with CA glue solvent. And of course the one on the right is the one that we burnt out. And you can see there is very little residue. Anyway, the question, I guess, was more or less answered. I have reshaped our sewing needle back to the way it was. It's still just as sharp as it was when it was more pointy. It's actually, you might say, deadly sharp. Anyway, I think I'll have less chance of bending the point the way it is this way. Now I realize the hole is already there, but I just want to enlarge it just a little bit here. And I'm not going to be pressing real hard. Don't know if that helped or not. Looks a little bigger. Now you're going to notice when I run the drill here that there's a little bit of wobble in the bit. But I don't think that's going to be an issue because it's going so slow. Now, remember we decided it was better to bring the plastic to the bit. Okay, I think I'm centered on there. And here we go. I think that might be deep enough. You know what? I just noticed I broke it. I should have had my finger in behind like this. Oh, good thing I didn't press any harder. I would have not only broke this little one on the bottom, I would have snapped the big one off. Oh, that's too bad. Well, there's 3 more. You know, I should have had my finger in behind like that. Well, that little broken piece there, you can't really see it unless you know it's there. Come on, this is supposed to be easy. Maybe I should have taped this piece down so it doesn't move around on me. Maybe I didn't go deep enough with my hole. I'm going to just drill the hole out just a little bit more. Okay, now I'm about twice as deep as I was before. I don't know if the word deep is the proper term here. I think what I'm going to do is try and straighten it out, glue it in place, and then see if I can't maybe bend it straight. You know, glue it something like that. It's just supposed to have the illusion of being a chair. Okay, should remember this thing. Oh, come on. Maybe I don't have enough on it. As Ronald Reagan used to say, here we go again. And here we go again with me not looking up into the monitor to see what's actually happening. If I had, I would have seen that the first time there was actually CA glue in the little hole. Okay, from my perspective, it looks like it's going into the hole. Now let's straighten the chair out before this cures. You know what? I think it's cured already. Well, you know what? It's gonna have to do. Now we'll put it on its base. Okay, I can well imagine that some of you were wondering how I was going to clean that off. Do I soak it in the solvent or do I use the flame? Well, here in North America, I don't know about where you live, but we have a saying. And it goes something like, flick your bick. Now, it's an old saying, but I can remember it. So I flicked my bick. While I was editing out those last few scenes, I noticed a couple of things. First of all, the plastic part. Well, it was broken already before I tried to drill it, so I must have broken it when I was trying to poke the hole in with the pin. However, secondly, the bit does not seem to be straight in the chuck in this little pin vise here. Either that or the pin vise is no good. Okay, I've taken it out and I put it back in again. If anything, it's worse. Okay, it's working anyway. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to keep loosening it, tightening it, checking it, and eventually it's going to be just right. On the other hand, it might get worse. And, you know Murphy's Law, it'll probably get worse. Well, I think Murphy's won. I just can't reposition it so it's going to get any better. I don't think that this chuck came from Amazon. However, it's probably not a real high quality chuck. But what I've done is I've got the bit extended as far out as reasonably possible so that when I position the end of the bit in the hole on the piece of plastic, at least the tip of the bit, because it flexes so easily, it's going to stay centered, even though back here it's going to be wobbling, if you know what I mean. Now, when I was straightening out the little chair, I was noticing that it was getting extremely easy to bend it back and forth one way or the other. I had the feeling I was about to break it off, so I got it as best I could. And then I've reinforced it on the bottom here with a little dab of CA glue. I think once it's all painted up, that's not even going to be noticed. But what I want to do now is, this is a piece of scrap plastic, obviously. And what I want to do here is I want to put a little bit of curing agent on it. I want to see how does the curing agent affect the plastic. I'm pretty sure it's not going to affect the brass at all. Okay, this is the bottom of the siphon that goes down into the little I can't talk and work at the same time. Anyway, it evaporates extremely quickly. You might even be able to see it evaporating there. This is real time, by the way. I'm not speeding it up. It has completely evaporated off of the brass, and I can sort of see a bit of a residue there, but not much. No, I'm not going to get out the microscope. Okay, about 5 minutes has passed here now. Did it soften the plastic? Well, I would have to say, if it did, the plastic has rehardened itself. Now, I was wondering here, how am I going to go about gluing this like this? Now, this piece is supposed to actually drop down so that the brass goes up against the flange part of it, the square part. I was thinking, take a piece of cardboard and, make a little hole in it, and then, position this brass piece just right, and then this thing would drop down, and then glue it. And I thought, yeah, it's probably going to be wanting to fall over. Then all of a sudden I thought, oh my goodness, there's a lot better way to do this. Now I think if I was to put a little dollop of something right there, maybe I could use the maybe I could use the extra thin solvent. Might go down through, or maybe I could take and put the solvent on the bottom right there to start with, so that I know it's there, and put this over. Now I want to make sure that I don't build it up with maybe a dollop of CA glue is a bad idea right here, because it's going to enlarge this piece, and I'm pretty sure this has to go down into a hole that is on the deck of the ship somewhere. Now I hope this isn't going to go running down. This will make the plastic extremely sticky. I think that's straight. Check the monitor. Yeah, looks good in the monitor. Alright, this sort of goes against my better judgment, so why am I doing it? Now it's kind of interesting here. Notice how the plastic actually oozed out there, or melted, dissolved, I guess, right at the base here. Now I'm hoping that's going to stick. I know CA glue would have worked, but I was afraid it would just be too obvious. This is the first one we did. Okay. I've done the other remaining three, this one, and this one, pretty much the same way. These two, as you can see, did not require a photo etch pedestal or base. Now these two here, I did it a little bit different in that I used the 13.5 thousandths inch bit. So the hole is a little bit small, and by forcing the tongue of the chair into the hole, I was able to keep it from falling over. In other words, it worked a lot better. Anyway, that's it for today, folks. Thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you again tomorrow.